Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best day movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming to you from right here on my YouTube channel. I'm, of course, your host, the ill Mr. John Campea. It's an awesome honor and privilege it is to have you, my international friends, joining me bedside as I try to get through this cold. Yes, I'm sick, ladies and gentlemen. So you might hear me clearing my throat once in a while. I might even have to... partake of a lozenge or two, and I apologize through it, but I'm going to make it through because we got some fun stuff to talk about here today, and you can't talk about fun stuff if you don't got the master of fun and wonder with you, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett.
Well, John, you have no time to die, and speaking of that, where's the trailer? Where is the trailer? The poster dropped. No trailer, John.
I'm sure it'll probably drop as we're doing the show. I mean, is watch as. And also joining us here today, I was trying to make up some sort of joke about dropping, but then I couldn't follow it up anywhere. But anyway, Chris Carr's here, ladies and gentlemen. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Man, we gotta go full Italian on you. We gotta boil some chicken feet. We gotta make some It's gonna get so old country up in here.
What I am doing, being this is an Italian thing and a Filipino thing, because my mother did this, and it turns out Anne's mother did this. So when I'm going to bed, Anne's like, okay, we got to get you ready for bed. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she pulls out the Vicks Vapor Rub. Yes. And it's like, sloth it, like all over the chest. What Anne does, I'm like, Anne, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do that. But when she gets a little sick, she'll like take a fingerful and like put it right up her nostril. I'm like, I think that's taking it too far. She goes, do you see me sick very often? I'm like, no, then shut up. Okay,
Isn't that what you do when the police have to see a cadaver?
Actually, that's probably true.
Like in Silence of the Lambs?
I wasn't worried about me having a cold, but now I am. Thank you so much for that. Hey, listen, guys, we've got a whole bunch of stuff we're going to talk about here today. Thank you for joining us. And listen, we're going to get things started off here off the top with this. You guys remember that late last week, Martin Scorsese was being interviewed, doing some stuff about Irishman. And he was asked something along the lines of Marvel films, to which he made a comment that got a lot of people upset. That basically saying, those films, as well done as they are, they're not really cinema, per se. They're not cinema. I don't watch them because they're not really cinema. And, my response at the time was, well, look, I'm not going to sit here and try to lecture Martin Scorsese on what is and isn't cinema. His qualifications far outdo mine. And I said, I understand where he's coming from because, a lot of us, big fans of the comic book movie genre, a lot of us will say it is more spectacle than anything else. A lot of the comic book stuff, even some of our favorite stuff, is really more spectacle than anything else. And when it comes to the real hardcore, like a lot of the filmmaking of like character development, story arcs, all that kind of stuff, a lot of comic book movies pale in comparison to real cinematic masterpieces. Rob, you often talk about how, the next evolution of comic book movies needs to be superseding or going beyond the genre itself,
Right.
And my argument is there haven't been many that have done that. There have been a few, but not many. But I took issue with the fact that he says, how can you say something isn't cinema if you don't even watch it? And my bottom line was, Mr. Scorsese, maybe you shouldn't say what that movie is or isn't if you haven't watched it. And you might surprise yourself, Mr. Scorsese, that if you start watching them now, they have grown. They have grown. Comic book movies have grown. They've developed. They've matured. And they're getting better and better. And you might want to check them out. Well, anyway, as a lot of people online reacted to what Scorsese said, at some point, you knew people involved in Marvel were going to have a comment. Now, James Gunn tweeted very quickly last week. He goes, Martin Scorsese is one of my top favorite directors. It kind of hurts me a little bit that he won't even watch my films, that he won't even give my films a shot, talking because he does some Marvel films. Well, never one to keep his opinion to himself. Mr. Samuel L. Jackson has put out a comment, and he said the following, which I actually think is pretty measured for a Samuel L. Jackson comment. But he said this. I mean, that's like saying Bugs Bunny ain't funny. I love that line. Films are films. Everybody doesn't like his stuff either. We happen to, but everybody doesn't. There are a lot of Italian Americans, and that's true. There are a lot of Italian Americans who don't think he should be making films like that, talking about his gangster stuff. Everybody's got an opinion. Ain't going to stop nobody from making movies. That's Samuel L. Jackson's comment on that. Rob, you weren't here, I believe, or were you here when we talked about the Scorsese thing? I can't remember.
Think Friday, right?
That's right. Oh, that's right. You were on Friday. But take first of all, what Scorsese said. What do you think about Samuel L. Jackson's response to that?
Well, I think the ultimate irony is these comments come right as Joker, a comic book movie that heavily borrows from Martin Scorsese's movies. I mean, it borrows from King Comedy, and it absolutely borrows from Taxi Driver. And it's amazing to me that this controversy even erupts. Although, I think Sam Jackson is totally correct. I think he's absolutely right. And I also think what Marty, can I call him Marty? I think what Marty was saying was, he's a man who grew up liking Powell and Pressburger and Ingmar Bergman and Antonioni, and he also likes genre movies. I mean, this guy made Boxcar Bertha for Roger Corman, for gosh sakes. I mean, it's not like Scorsese doesn't know his genre movies. But I thought those comments were sort of ill-conceived, but Sam Jackson, I thought, absolutely right. Like you said, John, a measured response, a good response, and it's really just a genre. I mean, it goes back to the oldest prejudice in the world, which is against comic books as having anything valid to say. And I get it. I think he's wrong.
Chris, you hear these sorts of comments. What do you make of them?
I mean, when I heard the Martin Scorsese thing, it was just like when we heard the Mark Maron stuff before. Like, why? Why? If you don't like the movie, that's fine. If you don't like that genre, that's fine. You don't need to yuck other people's yum. And I am
that's a t-shirt right there.
Yeah, I'm so impressed with how measured and calm Mr. Jackson was here. I was expecting a lot more MRFers in that statement, and there weren't. And I think that was so on the point. Bugs Bunny taught all of us about opera, all right? A cartoon taught us about opera. Superhero movies are teaching us about kindness and friendship and all kinds of things. GTFO, Marty.
Well, look, I think it's important that we all keep in mind a couple things here. Martin Scorsese didn't come out and say these movies suck.
No.
Right.
I mean, let's be very, very clear. He didn't come out here and say what some other people said is like, those films are just for 7-year-olds. Well, he never said that. He said, hey, these films, as well as they're made, kind of saying they're made well, I don't really consider them to be cinema. Now, listen, I know this is going to be the unpopular thing to say, and that's fine. But what he said isn't all that far off from what a lot of people have said. It's like, these movies are amazing and fantastic. I mean, they're mostly spectacle and stuff like that, but they're amazing as what they are, pieces of entertainment that I really like, blah, blah, blah. What Scorsese actually said was not all that far off. Not all that far off. I still take issue, though, with the fact that he leads off that statement saying, I don't watch these, which is fine. That's fair. But then don't make a qualifying statement about them if you already said you don't watch them. So I think what Samuel L. Jackson said was fair. I think what he said was fair, although he was responding as if Martin Scorsese said their movies were no good, and he never said that. But he makes a great point. Like, there have been a lot of people over the year, being Italian myself, there have been a lot of discussions like, should, these movies, some of the movies that Scorsese makes, paints the Italian culture in a very negative way. They're awesome. I love them. But there have been a lot of people that have taken issue with that. So, but again, I never tend to get too worked up, at least I try not to, over comments somebody makes in response to a question. It's different than if Martin Scorsese held a press conference, holding a press conference, say at 1 o'clock, and he comes out and he reads, I have a statement to read. And then he made this statement about comic book films. I tend to cut people a little bit more slack when it comes to that, but it's going to be interesting.
It makes me think of when you talk to somebody who graduated from art school, though. Someone who got their degree in film, and they have to let you know that they don't go see pedestrian films. It just felt elitist to me, and I didn't jive with me.
It did, although I still say, if there's anybody who can make an elitist comment like that and get away with it,
totally fair.
That's a small list, but Scorsese's probably one of them.
Yeah.
Just saying. Anyway, guys, what do you think about Samuel L. Jackson's response to that comment? I thought it was a very even-handed response to it, actually. What do you guys think? Jump in the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right. With that stuff down, let's move on to our main topics today. How do we select our main topics on the John Campea Show? Well, it's really rather simple. See, you guys come up with them by going over to our website at www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you get there, fill out the form with your topic or question, hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your topic or question featured here on the John Campea Show. With that down, Chris, what is our first main topic today?
Our first topic is from Delilah M. Hi, John. Just saw the new trailer for Picard. I thought I was excited for the show before. Now I'm losing my mind. The inclusion of Data, Riker, and others bounced with an emphasis on new characters made for a perfect balance to me. Did you see it? And what do you think? How are you feeling about this Picard trailer?
I'll tell you what, I was, like everybody else, I was excited when they said they were making a Picard show. Because I'm like, damn right you're making a Picard show. When I saw the first trailer, I was very intrigued. I liked that first trailer very much. This trailer, as most good second trailers should, gave us a little bit more of a feel for the feel of the show. What's this show going to be like? What's the tone of it going to be? And here's where I thought it was really brilliant. Yes, I like the fact that they had Riker in there. It was a great introduction to him, by the way. Dad, somebody said named Jean-Luc Picard. And he turns his head from the kitchen sink, which was great. Deanna Troi, you got Data in there and all that kind of stuff. But it was a good balance of look at the classic characters and look at the new characters. And it was a really nice balance of that. So I had the nostalgic part of me satisfied because seeing these characters, and of course, 7 and 9, I keep forgetting the actress's name.
Jerry Ryan.
I knew it was Jerry. She looks great. Everything looks great. I love this trailer. It's made me even more excited for this series. I cannot wait for this thing to start. Rob, I've been dying to talk to you about this since the trailer dropped, and we haven't talked about it yet, but
Nope.
You saw this new trailer. What did you think?
I have to say, I'm really intrigued. I think it looks really interesting. I think it looks like something I want to watch. I mean, what's amazing is 1994 was the year that Next Generation went off the air, 25 years ago.
I can't believe it.
Can you imagine if somebody was 50 when the show went off the air, they'd be 75 now. So it's when I watch this, look, it looks like it leans heavily into Star Trek mythology. You've got the Borg, you've got 7 of 9, you have a whole new set of characters. The Romulans seem to play a big part. I think it looks really terrific. Obviously, they spared no expense. Really curious to see where it goes. I think I don't think there's been a Star Trek thing that I've been more excited about in, well, maybe since Next Generation went off the air. At least after Generations, which disappointed me, let's say that. But I'm excited. I really am intrigued. I can't wait to see it. I mean, January can't come soon enough.
Chris, you had a chance to watch this. What did you think?
I am so excited about this. And probably to Rob's chagrin, TNG was the only Star Trek I watched. I didn't watch any of the other ones, but this was what I grew up
You're
watching
not
with
alone.
my
I think
dad.
that's probably a pretty popular thing today. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved that so much. I thought Beverly Crusher was just the coolest woman ever, and that's who I wanted to be when I grow up. Troy talked too much about feelings. I didn't like that. Shove them down. Shove down those emotions. But this looks so exciting. The inclusion of Data. Oh my God, or Data. I'm so excited. I think everything in this looks so promising. And like you guys were saying, I was excited before. Now I am pumped for this. I cannot wait to watch this. That is enough to get on a streaming service.
You know, Chris, they didn't know, the cast did not know how to pronounce Data or Data. They didn't know what to do until Patrick Stewart first uttered the word while they were shooting.
That's
Really?
really cool.
That's a true story.
So they hadn't decided whether it was GIF or GIF, and
Nope.
then he came out and said it once. It's like,
And he
well,
said it was
that's
Data,
how Patrick Stewart says
and
it.
then
He made it so.
It was so there you go.
That's some good trivia right there.
That's really cool.
Question here is, guys, have you had a chance to see the new Picard trailer? I think it's really looking good. Anyway, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, with that down, let's move on to our second main topic today. Chris, what is our second main topic today?
This is from Dan Allen. Julie Delpy said that she didn't get equal pay in the first 2 Before Trilogy movies. On Before Midnight, she received equal pay. Richard Linklater responded that Ethan Hawke took far less than he was deserving of an actor of his caliber. Delpy was new to American audiences at the time. Do you think Linklater's comments were on the right to reply to this situation? And was he right for not paying Delpy as much as Hawke? How do you guys feel about this? And this happened a while ago, but how do you guys feel about the pay discrepancy here?
Well, I mean, it happened a while ago,
Yeah.
but by the way, is it Delpy or is it Delpy?
It's Delpy.
It's
Delpy? Oh.
Because I've always said Delpy.
Yeah.
And then I was reading it again. It's like, wait a minute, that's Delpy?
It's
And-
Delpy.
Oh,
There you
dang.
go.
Delpy, yeah.
So Julie Delpy. So just so you know, it was only recently, though, that she came out in an interview and mentioned that for the first 2, by the way, if you've never seen the Before trilogy, you really should. I mean, it looks like the type of movie that isn't made for you, but it's so good you should really watch it. Anyway, she revealed that just recently that she got paid nowhere near what Ethan Hawke got paid for the first 2. And then insisted before doing the third that she gets paid the same as Ethan Hawke for the third. Now, after she made those comments, filmmaker Richard Linklater did say the following. He said, No one involved in the productions considered this an injustice in 1994 because Julie was just getting established in the US, while Ethan was one of the biggest stars in his age range, getting offered seemingly every project in the industry. It's likely the trilogy would not even exist if Ethan didn't choose to come to Vienna that summer and work for a fraction of what he could have been making on another project. So we had a little bit, this kind of came up before. Now, it should be pointed out that they go on to stipulate and mention that, you know, the agents negotiated their clients' deals individually, right? So the Ethan Hawke's agent negotiated Ethan Hawke's fee. Julie's agent negotiated Julie's fee for the first film. And it came in significantly lower than Ethan's. I think on the second film, she got half of what Ethan got paid. And then by the third film, she insisted she be paid equally. This is a topic that has come up, and I'm going to say something that might sound surprising, but yeah, that sounds about right. It sounds about right. Because honestly, look, Julie's been around for a long time now. And how many of you guys knew her name? Probably not a lot. Now you go back to when they were doing the before films, the fact of the matter is what Richard said is actually 100% correct. That film needed Ethan Hawke. It didn't need to have her. Everybody brings something different to the table, including what value do they bring to the project. Ethan Hawke was a much more established name. He's much more well-known. And I think Linklater is correct. I think that probably was a film that might not even got off the ground if they weren't able to say to the funders, we got Ethan Hawke attached. That's not the same thing with Julie. I then agree with Julie. By the time you get to the third one, she is now equally as important to this franchise as he is. By the time you get to the third film, you can't do a third film without her.
Nope.
Just like you can't do a third film without him. So I think she was absolutely justified at that point to say, I'm not going to do this film unless I get paid equal to Ethan. At that point, I think it makes sense. Well, look, the reality is this. You will get paid according to what value you bring to the project. There was actually time, true story, Rob. There was a time where I had a show pitched to me, a movie kind of review show with me and Charles Barkley. I kid you not.
Really?
Yep.
What?
I was pitched this idea of a show with me and Charles Barkley once. And because I had a friend who was working with Charles Barkley. He used to work at Lionsgate. And he came to me with this idea. And I eventually turned it down because I didn't see it working. I didn't see it working at all. So I turned it down. But had we gone through and made that show, do you think there's any reality that exists that I would have gotten paid as much as Charles Barkley did for that show if that show ever actually happened? No chance. No chance in hell. And I wouldn't have argued with it. Now, if we had done that show and it got to season 5, 6, or 7, at that point I probably would have been saying, you know what? I'm just as important to this show as he is. I should be paid as much as he does at that time. In this case, I don't think Delpy at the time was paid less than Ethan because he was a man and she was a woman. I think that exists. Of course that exists. But I don't think that's the case here. I think the case here was you had a established superstar who was highly in demand and was going to bring a lot of recognition to the film. And you had somebody who North American audiences really didn't know. And they could have gotten somebody else. And as she became more important to the project, her salary went up until it got, rightfully so, to the point in the third film where she was making as much as Ethan Hawke. So I actually see no wrongdoing here by anybody. I don't think she was being unreasonable saying by the third film she demanded equal pay. I don't think it was unreasonable that she got paid significantly less than Ethan Hawke in the first couple of films because that's the value he brought. So to me, Rob, it's actually a little bit of a much ado about nothing. How do you see the situation?
100%, John. Since you brought sports into it, I'm like, gosh, does every member of the Seattle Seahawks, the Jedi Knights of the Pacific Northwest, who had an incredible game on Thursday, does everyone get paid the same amount of money as Russell Wilson, the quarterback?
They don't?
No, John.
Oh, wow.
What?
No,
I assumed he made $20 an hour.
Yeah, you know, and here's the funny thing. This idea, I understand about equal work for equal pay. But the fact is, when it comes to making movies, stars are not all equal. Men, women, old, young, they're not all equal. They have different values based on their previous track record as stars, and also who's the movie about? Whatever. There's many different factors. Now, if you have, say, an ensemble cast on a television show, I think, or you have Mulder and Scully, I think that David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson should get equal pay. Absolutely. 100%. Should not matter what your gender is or what your age is. But in the case of when you hire a movie star, the movie star brings value to the project instantaneously because of their previous work. And all of their past career has led them to your movie. They've decided to do your movie. You are benefiting off of that success. So you pay for that. Period.
Chris, as the only actress in the room, you hear a story but like that, what is your response to
My
it?
lady bits make me so qualified for this discussion.
More so than me.
I completely agree with you guys on this one. You know, there's something to be said for having a rookie in a movie. If I am in a movie with somebody who's a huge name, I'm not going to get as paid as much as them, and that's part of the appeal of having me in that movie. I'm a budget cut. You know, if you don't want to pay Mary Elizabeth Winstead, hi guys, come over and get me. I'll do it for so much less money. If you are not an established actor, regardless of your sex, you do have to pay your dues. And there is something to be said for getting exposure in films and everything. Now, if she is the lead in a film, leading a franchise, yeah, we need to give somebody more money. But at the start of your career, just like anything, you're going to start entry level and then you're going to build from there. I'm not going to run in and be like, hey, Rob, I've done some iMovie editing. I should be the editor on all these movies you do now, and you should pay me the exact same wage you get. That's bananas. It's just like anything in life.
But it happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know, true story. So I made a little film called The Anniversary, right? Now, I had an arrangement with SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, where I got to pay, because I was a low-budget film, well, really a no-budget film almost. So I was able to have union actors in my film for $100 a day. I could pay them $100 a day. That met the requirements. You know the highest paid actor in my movie was? A dog. I'm not kidding you.
Wow.
My script called for a 3-legged dog. I needed a 3-legged dog. Do you know how many 3-legged dogs are out there that have been trained to be, you know, behaved and act a certain way on a movie set and blah, blah, blah? I found out, not many. I found that out. And whereas I remember I posted a casting call for my little no-budget movie, and I had over 1,000 people audition, not audition, but apply per role. Per role. I had to hunt and move heaven and earth to try to find a properly trained 3-legged dog, and the rate for that 3-legged dog was $250 for 4 hours.
Dang.
That was the rate. And guess what? There weren't any other qualified dogs out there that I could do that with at the time. So I had to pay this dog literally quadruple what I was paying my actors. But that's supply and demand. That's what I needed, the dog. I could not do it without the dog, and that's what his rate was.
You know, I wanted to point out, Chris, I wasn't disagreeing with you about the editor comment, but what I was saying is there are people that have just edited on iMovie that will demand what an editor with 10 years experience cutting features want. And by the way, what do I always say? You don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate.
Yeah.
So everybody's always trying to get, you know, as much as they can.
We've had people at our other channel come in, though, for interviews to be editors, and they have the exact same skill set as me, and it's, no. I need someone who's so much smarter than me to do this. If I just want someone to do it on iMovie, I'll do it myself. I can do a fake green screen on there. I need qualified people. And this also isn't a situation, too, where you have, like, Michelle Williams versus, you know, Marky Mark getting the pay gap there, that huge pay gap. This was something that, again, there was a build of time. She got paid equally later on. I feel like this one is much ado about nothing.
Question is, guys, how do you feel about that? What do you think about her making the statement? What do you think about Linklater's statement? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, with that down and out of the way, let's move on to main topic number 3. Chris, what is our third main topic today?
This is from David H. Hey, John. So according to the Wall Street Journal, Disney is banning all Netflix ads on all its channels and platforms. With Disney owning so many channels, could this move hurt Netflix, or will it do nothing at all? Thanks. How do you feel about this ban?
Okay, so this came out, and all of a sudden, I started getting tons of messages from people. Can you believe this? Disney not letting Netflix advertise on their stuff. Now, it should be pointed out there is a lot of nuance to this story. It's not a total ban. There's certain things that can be done and not things done. I'll leave it up to you guys to look that information up online. But generally speaking, Netflix does not allow, or Disney, I should say, will not allow Netflix to advertise their stuff now on any Disney network. That includes a lot of stuff. Main reason being is that Disney is now going to be having a direct competitor product to Netflix with Disney Plus launching. Now, Rob, I've been hearing a lot of people scream bloody murder about this. How dare Disney? This is them bullying other people. This is them using their thing to push around other people. And how dare they? This is unfair and blah, 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 blah. Now, look, I've been very critical of Disney as of late. I didn't like the way they botched the whole Spider-Man thing. There's been some other stuff as well. But let me just pump the brakes on this thing. If you're somebody who's been outraged by this, or you think this is really even an issue at all, I've got a couple questions to ask you. Number one, when was the last time you saw an ABC show advertised on the CBS network? I'll wait. Go ahead, look it up. Oh, you're done? Right. It doesn't happen. When's the last time you saw a Fox show advertised on NBC? It doesn't happen. They're not going to advertise, the networks are not going to advertise direct competitors' programming on their stuff. Now, you will see, at least in days gone by, you'll see a Netflix or an HBO ad on ABC or NBC because they're seen a little bit differently. They're not direct competitors. That's for pay services as opposed to, over the air kind of broadcast networks, blah, 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 blah. So if you're really upset by this thing about Disney, the question I ask you, when's the last time you saw a CBS show advertised on NBC? Oh, it doesn't happen. So this is nothing new. The second question I want to ask you is this. When's the last time you saw an ESPN ad on Netflix? Oh, that's right. Netflix doesn't advertise anybody's stuff. They don't advertise at all. So whereas Disney is saying we're not going to advertise Netflix because they are now going to become a direct competitor to us, we're not going to do that. Guess what? Netflix has never had advertisers. They didn't let anybody advertise on their network. So before we get all wound up and people getting so upset by this Disney thing, this is just, there's nothing new here. There is nothing new here. This is the standard way all of the industry has conducted business. You have a direct competitor, you don't advertise their stuff on your network. It's just dumb. It's like buying a MacBook. And then you get the MacBook home in its box, and you open the box, and the very first thing you see is this big page, this big piece of paper advertising the new Microsoft Surface. Of course Apple's not going to do that. They're not going to advertise their direct competitor. There is nothing new here, not to mention Netflix already doesn't allow Disney advertising because they don't have anybody advertising. This is a non-story, in my opinion at any rate. Rob, you saw this. Am I right? Is this a complete non-story, or am I missing some of the nuance here?
No, I'm with you. It's a non-story. I thought your analogy between networks advertising each other's shows was perfect. Why would anybody think that Disney should advertise a competitor's product? It's the weirdest, why would you? I mean, this is how the streaming wars are going to work. People are going to have to start getting innovative. They're going to have to they can't just take their audience for granted anymore. We're going to see a lot of innovation in terms of advertising and getting the word out about their films. As far as John, I don't think Netflix does enough to advertise their own stuff. Yeah. I mean, this weekend between In the Shadow of the Moon and between Peaky Blinders, the new season of that dropping, between In the Tall Grass, a movie that Vincent Natali directed, good Canadian kid. There's all this stuff that keeps rolling out on Netflix. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I had no idea. The Breaking Bad movie is imminent, and there's just, it rolls down the hill, all this goodness. Every time I turn on Netflix, I'm like, oh my God, now I've got a backlog of like 20 things I want to watch. I wish I knew it was coming out. Because I never do. I never know what's happening, when it's happening, how it's happening. So I would love it if Netflix advertised anywhere, much less Disney shows. I mean, come on, you can't expect that to happen.
All right, guys, question is, what do you think about this move? And again, there are some nuances to it. There's some fine details, a little bit of exceptions. You can find that stuff online. But generally speaking, do you think this is a big deal that Disney is bullying Netflix by not allowing their stuff, or is this business as usual? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right. With that down, Let's move on to our fourth main topic today. Chris, what is our fourth main topic today?
This is from Sadfik Reviews. Hi, John. Joker has broken the October opening weekend record of $94 million, taking Venom to the number 2 spot. Do you think that the Joker branding made audiences want to see this movie or not? What do you think? And thank you and have a great day.
Well, pardon me. This is one of those situations where, look, we made some guesses a couple weeks ago. I guessed it would open somewhere between 90 and 100, which would place it above Venom. Let's just go back and do a little bit of fact checking on this. Yes, Joker has broken the record for the number 1 box office opening of all time in the month of October. It supersedes another comic book film, Venom, from just last year that made $80.255 million. Halloween was 76, Gravity 55, and The Martian down at 54. So Joker easily breaking the October weekend box office record. That is impressive. What was it that drew people out to it more than, say, Venom? I think there's a couple of things. I think number 1 is, of course, the brand recognition of the name Joker. I mean, that's huge. You can't get away from that. Number 2, you've got Joaquin Phoenix in it. Number 3, you've had a lot of positive buzz, winning awards, a lot of positive reviews, all this kind of... By the way, there's this fake narrative going around out there. They're saying, the media was trying to turn everybody against Joker. Last time I checked, the vast majority of the media gave it positive reviews. Not that I care whether they gave it positive reviews or negative reviews, but there's this fake, outrage going on. Oh, the media was trying to put down Joker. No, the last I checked, the vast majority of the media was actually supporting it. But anyway, that's a separate issue. Then there was the controversy stuff. And that got everybody talking about Joker. And everybody kept talking Joker, Joker, Joker. Joker was on everybody's lips all the time. So I think there's a number of things that went in there that got us to this point. And just, I think a big thing of it was, of course, it started winning some awards. It looked incredible. It is Joker, all that kind of stuff. So I think that's one of the primary reasons. And listen, guys, don't underestimate this record. This is significant. Because again, you're looking at, 4 and 5, you're talking about $55 and $54 million. You've almost doubled what 4 and 5 were. That is a significant jump. And to beat the previous record by 13 million, that's not a small thing. That is a really big thing. And I think it's really, really quite impressive. Anyway, Rob, when you look at the results of Joker and how it's done, now breaking that October weekend record and all that kind of stuff, what do you attribute most of that to? How did it break that record?
Well, I think you're spot on. First and foremost, it's the Joker. And whether, Batman appears in this movie or not, it's still part of a franchise that is beloved for many, many generations of people. And, moviegoers young to old are interested in a Joker film. Secondly, like you pointed out, it has a lot of buzz, a lot of award buzz. But I think most of all, it's a cultural event. It's become, I've heard more people talking about this movie, more people have been writing to me about this movie, people have opinions about this movie, and they're opinions that are good. Normally you'd hear, it sucked, or I loved it. This is a film that people are analyzing and people are thinking about and people are contemplating and more importantly discussing with one another in a very cogent, erudite manner what this film is all about. And I think it really it is the right movie for the right time, and it covers, certainly what it's done for the comic book genre is a great thing, but also what it says about our society right now. It really is a zeitgeist moment, and I think this film is something that really means a great deal to a lot of people for a number of different reasons. It's one of those big moments in time, and they don't come around. How many movies get released a year? You don't see any kind of buzz. People aren't having the kinds of discussions about, even good movies like The Farewell, which is another very meaningful movie that had a lot of positive buzz. But this film has a groundswell of interest, and I really do think it has more. There's more going on here than just another movie that came out this weekend. And it hasn't even opened in China yet, and it had a huge opening foreign. It's up almost to 250 million worldwide.
Is it going to get a China release?
They don't have one scheduled yet.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the type of movie to me that China would allow them to release it.
Yeah, I don't know.
So here's a question I have for you guys. Understanding that it just beat the Venom record pretty soundly. Venom went on to make $856 million. could the interest in Joker propel it to actually overtaking Venom's overall box office mark of 856 million? Chris, let me ask you that first. Do you think it can get to that mark?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everyone I know who does not enjoy comic books or comic book films wants to see this movie. All of my art house friends are like, I have to see this with you. When are we going? I'm so excited. I want to see this psychological film. Whereas Venom, I had to keep saying, the symbiote, do you guys know? She's saying it wrong. Do you want to see it anyway? This movie, I think, is going to absolutely crush those numbers.
Rob, do you think it can actually catch Venom's numbers?
I have to disagree because at the end of the day, this isn't fun. It's not like you come out of Venom and it was a wacky fun time at the movies. Whereas this movie, I kind of feel I needed a shower after I saw this film. I mean, I needed to take some, antidepressants or something. So I think it's going to do well, but I can't see on a worldwide basis that this is going to catch Venom. But then again, I could be wrong because I've been very surprised by the cultural moment this movie's having also. So I could be very wrong about this, and Chris, you could be very right. I just think that it doesn't, it asks you
say
to
that again,
put
but
on a
slower?
happy face.
Just say, Chris, you could be right. We can shorten it. Chris, you're right.
You know what?
Chris, you're right.
Yes.
It's not going to catch
so
it.
satisfying.
It's not going to catch it. There's a couple reasons why. I think this is a better movie.
Me too. By far.
I think this is a better movie than Venom. That said, and I had a lot of fun with Venom. And you're right, Rob. It's just a fun time for the movies.
It is.
This, I don't believe Joker. I've already heard from a number of people said, man, I really like watching that movie. Not going to go watch it again, though. It is a heavier kind of film, and I don't think it's going to get the kind of repeat, the kind of repeat business for it that, say, a Venom did. You add on top of that, I think there are going to be some foreign markets that played Venom that are not going to play Joker, being, the R-rated material that it is and all that kind of stuff. China might because it portrays American culture in a pretty bad light, so maybe China will be all about that. I don't know. But I think because of that, no, I think it's going to do really well. It obviously already is, but I don't think you're going to see this movie hit 800 million. Be kind of cool if it did. I don't think it will, though. But that brings us to this, guys. That is the topic of today's question of the day. I wanted to put it to you guys, because I know a lot of you guys have seen Joker now. Having seen it, do you think it's going to catch Venom? Do you think it has the rewatchability that a movie like Venom did? So I simply ask you guys, will Joker catch that $856 million overall box office mark that Venom hit? And 42% of you are saying yes, it'll catch Venom. 58% of you right now, the no's have it. No, it will not quite catch Venom. Maybe for some of the things that we said, maybe for some other reasons altogether, but that's what we're feeling right now. Question is, guys, what do you think about this? What do you think about Joker, number one, breaking that record? And number two, what do you think about the Joker's chances of, now that it's past Venom's opening weekend box office record, will it get more people and still have those legs to get to like an $800 million mark and more? It's an interesting question. I want to know what you guys think about that. Jump down to the comments section below and leave us your thoughts. All right. With all that down and out of the way, guys, we're going to go on to some live questions. But before we do, we're going to take a little bit of a break here. Let me refill my tea, rest up the voice, stretch the legs a little bit, and we will be back in just about 3.5 minutes to continue on with your guys' live questions. Hang tight. We'll be back in 3.5 minutes. right, and we are back. Thank you guys for your patience and your indulgence as we took a little bit of a break there. Let's now move on and start taking your live questions. Robert Meyer Burnett has so graciously offered to read off the live questions for me, so that's going to make my life a whole hell of a lot easier. So, Robert, let's get things started here. What's our first one?
Sidious Swift asks, saw it thrice myself. Here's hoping studios look at the profits and take a chance on similar comic book related projects. Love the movie, by the way.
Well, that's been the goal, right? That's been the dream. That right from the beginning when they announced this film, that to me was like, please work so Marvel, DC, everybody else, make some standalone movies. What do you think?
I think so too. I mean, I think it's great because we're going to see different takes on these characters than we've seen, and it can only be better for us, the movie-going public.
All right, what's next?
Alex Von Gollum says, "Hi, Gio and crew. How do you think Schnepp would have? How do you think Schnepp would have reacted to the Joker? I love it. Can't wait to rewatch. A masterpiece to me. And Joaquin, just wow."
It's an interesting question because I'm of two minds.
Wow.
There's a part of me that thinks because it wasn't really have a lot of comic book elements to it, I don't know if that would have disappointed him. I don't know if the psychological thriller aspect of it, part of me thinks he would have absolutely loved and ate it up. So to be honest, I'm not 100% sure. How do you think he would have felt about it?
I think he would have loved how different it was and what it portended for the future. I think he would have liked to see a comic book movie like this kind of a film, and he would have been excited about it. I don't know, like you, if he would have liked it, but I think he would have liked what it represented, for sure.
That's a good answer.
For
All right,
sure.
what's next?
William Carino says, "Hope you're feeling better, John. I think the controversy was over Joker's motivation for violence, not violence itself. Regardless, I love the film. It's the old school character study style I've missed."
Well, the problem with that is the controversy started before people saw the film. So the controversy couldn't have been based on something that we only would have found out about after watching the film. So, which is part of what makes the controversy so ridiculous in the first place. It was being espoused by people who hadn't even seen it yet. So, I mean, that's my thought on it, Rob.
I totally agree with you. And it keeps going. The controversy keeps rolling.
All right, what's next?
Alex Von Gollum says, "Last Thursday, the comic book genre grew to another dimension. The genre can be a drama or whatever it wants to be. DC reset the bar. So happy for them."
I mean, look, Rob, you've been saying all the time that as much as we love comic book movies, and we do, and they've been getting better and better and better, you've always said the next stage in their evolution is transcending the genre itself. Now, I really only think 3 comic book movies have ever done that. Really. I think Dark Knight did it, I think Logan did it, and now I think Joker's done it. It goes beyond all the borders of what a comic book movie is. You can make an argument that Winter Soldier came close. Winter Soldier came close to doing that. I'm not saying that makes them the best comic book movies, but they came close. I don't know that they set the bar with this movie. I'm not willing to go so far as to say that. But I personally thought it was a triumph. But Rob, it definitely is a different kind of movie, right?
No, absolutely, and it doesn't check the boxes of the normal comic book film, and that's what I think makes it exciting. It is not only it's not kind of a comic book movie. It's about the Joker. You know, the Joker, one of the most iconic comic book villains, if not the most iconic comic book villain of all time. That's what makes it so great. They didn't like pull out some third stringer, man. They went all in.
All right, what's next?
Jordan Ross Weinhold says, "I don't know how many Oscar noms Joker will get. Wanted to get them all, but right now I'd be happy if Phoenix gets nominated, the screenplay, and Hildar, I can't even pronounce any Icelandic names, Gudmundsdóttir for her haunting score," which, oh man, that score is amazing.
And by the way, Hildar also composed Chernobyl.
Yes.
Which was haunting. Anne and Corey are watching that right now. They're I think they're through episode 3 right now. They're going through that. Yeah, look. I think there's a decent chance it gets nominated for Best Picture. There's a lot of precedent for the Golden Lion winners at Venice Film Festival that do go on and get Best Picture nominations, particularly when you can have up to 10. I don't think it'll get a Best Director nomination. That's limited to 5. I don't think it's going to get that. I will be shocked if it doesn't get Joaquin Phoenix a lead actor. That's the only one I feel really solid about. It could get one for score. It could get one for screenplay. It could pick up a couple of others. But the one I feel really good about is probably just the one for Joaquin Phoenix. What do you think, Rob?
I think you're probably right. I also think it has a shot at cinematography.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Next one. Maxter248 says, was a pleasure meeting you, Schnepp, and your lovely wife at AMC 200K party. Thank you for all that you do. Over or under 45% Warner Brothers uses the from the director of Guardians of the Galaxy for their marketing in the trailers for Suicide Squad.
Well, first of all, I don't think we ever had an AMC 200,000 party. If we did, I don't remember. Maybe you meant the 1 million view party that we did. But at any rate, do I think Suicide Squad will use from the director of Guardians of the Galaxy over under 45%? Dude, I don't see any reality that they don't. Of course they do. Look, and you should. Not just because Guardians of the Galaxy is a beloved movie, but it's because highlighting, hey guys, we got directors working on Marvel and DC. There's so much reason for them to do it. I'll go 99% that they will use that. Rob, what do you think?
I'm with you. Maybe even 100.
All right, what's next?
Orange Hand says, in Game of Thrones lore, there was an evil patriot named Bellaccio whose many conquests were ended when he was eaten by giants. This is a reference to Super Bowl 42.
Oh, isn't that adorable? The Giants fans love to talk about their 2 little Super Bowls. How adorable. Oh, that's so adorable. I mean, it's nothing compared to the 6 that Tom Brady's got on his fingers, but that's adorable that Giants fans still like to talk about that. Good for you.
John, is anyone going to stop the Patriots this year?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think look, I said this before the season started. I will say it now. This is not the Patriots' year. It's not their year. I just, look, their defense is better than it's ever been, but you can't lose a Gronkowski and not miss a beat. And to be honest, Buffalo proved this week that they're not a fluke. They just won again this weekend. So beating Buffalo was their one key win. Their other wins have come across not the toughest competition. So they're going to have a really good record at the end of the season, and they're going to win the AFC East again, and they're going to roll into the playoffs. But they're not going to, I don't even think they're going to be in the Super Bowl this year.
Wow.
But then again, KC, I've said for the last couple of weeks, and everybody said I was crazy. The last 2 weeks, I've been telling people, Kansas City Chiefs look mortal. They barely got by the last couple of weeks. And then last night, they ran into a damn good Indianapolis Colts team, and the Colts ran the ball down their throats at will.
So who do you think's going to be in the Super Bowl with the Seahawks?
Hey, listen, Seahawks are looking more and more legit every single freaking day, man. They are looking more legit every day. I think a couple of things. I think the Rams are evolving this season. They haven't found their pace yet, but they will. But look, I might change my mind in 2 weeks. Right now, I am thinking it's going to be Seattle and Kansas.
Wow, okay.
But because I don't think but you know what? It could be another team in the AFC because Kansas is looking mortal. Teams are starting to figure out, number one, they can't stop the run. Number two, Mahomes, there's a way to stop him. You can stifle Patrick Mahomes, and last night showed that. Anyway,
Seahawks have a tough schedule coming up.
They do, but you
That's
know
all
what?
I'm
They're going to get into the playoffs, and once you get into the playoffs, tough schedules don't matter.
Right.
I don't think anybody wants to play the Seahawks. I'll straight up with you. I don't think anybody wants to play the Seahawks right now. So, anyway, that's my thought. Sorry, that was our sports talk segment of the show here today, guys. All right, what's next?
Nathan Oswald says, I've used the word masterpiece for only 2 things: The Last of Us and now Joker.
Well, I mean, look, here's the thing. I love Joker. You guys saw my review. I loved it. And I do think for what it was doing, it's a masterpiece of what it was doing. Much look, is Joker the Godfather? No. Is it Goodfellas? No. Is it Lawrence of Arabia? No. But it did something so different and so unique that, I call Man of Steel, Rob, a masterpiece of the genre.
Right.
I think Man of Steel is a masterpiece of the genre. It's no Godfather, but I think Joker is the same way. I just thought it did something different, tackled it in a way. And look, I thought that was really ballsy of Warner Brothers to make this movie. And that's how I thought, Rob. What do you think?
I do too. I can't believe this movie exists. Now, I wasn't as big a fan of it as some people were, but I admire everything that it's done. I admire that somebody like Joaquin Phoenix put his all into this kind of a character. It's amazing when you see Nicholson, Ledger, Leto, and now Joaquin Phoenix that this character attracts actors who deliver these amazingly committed performances. There's something about this role. This film really capitalized on. Todd Phillips had a vision, and Warner Brothers allowed him this vision. And remember, this movie wasn't that expensive compared to other comic book movies. This movie is a huge win all the way around, but mostly for comic book movie fans.
All right, what's next?
What is next is Orange Hand says also the Game of Thrones character 1-1, a giant, refers to Giants player Phil Simms, who wore number 11. George R. R. Martin is a pro-Giants and Jets and pro-Giants and Jets and anti-Patriots.
Well, that would explain a lot. Him being a big Giants and Jets fan, that would explain a lot. It would explain why he's lazy, why he never finishes what he started, why he can't get around to completing things, and yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. I think it's a great observation. That works. All right, what's next?
Auto 000 says, although I don't agree with Joker's actions, I don't totally disagree with some of his philosophy. Thought it was crazy, but my friends felt the same way.
Rob, I mean, look, this is what I've been talking about a lot this weekend, was the fact that the Joker movie does not glorify violence.
No.
I put up a tweet this weekend that said, because some people would argue with me, well, John, it kind of does, because they make the Joker look sympathetic. They make it look like he's got a point and all this kind of stuff. And what I tweeted out this weekend was, okay, let me ask you this. Did Avengers Infinity War glorify genocide? Because the vast majority of Avengers Infinity War was the movie giving off reasons why genocide's a good idea. That's what it was doing. It made Thanos look sympathetic. It's like, you know what? Thanos has got a point. We should murder billions of people. But I said, here's the difference. You and I, and all of us watching here, we're all intelligent enough to know that it came across that way because a lot of Infinity War was told from Thanos' perspective. And the lunatic is always justified from his own perspective. The lunatic always sees their actions as being right or good or justifiable. And so that's the way we look through that lens in Infinity War, and we're all intelligent enough to understand that, and to understand that the Russo brothers were not encouraging or glorifying genocide. When you get to the Joker, we apply that same logic. The movie isn't saying that Arthur Fleck was justified in anything he did. We are intelligent enough to know that, no, this movie was being told from his perspective, and from his twisted perspective, everything he says or does, he is completely right to feel wronged. He is completely right to take the actions that he takes, because that's from his perspective, and we as the audience know the difference. So, that's just my thought on that. Rob, do you got any comment on that?
I completely agree with you 100%. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. 100%.
All right, what's next?
Nosferatu says, hey, John, go look at the sky. It's not the best, but it's up there.
Oh my God. Da-dum-dum. Well said. Well said. All right, what's next?
The Mandalorian of Gondor says, over or under 40%, Joker is nominated for Best Pick and Directing.
Under. Because if you're saying pick and directing, I think, number one, it's under 30% that it gets a direction pick, let alone Best Picture and Best Directing. So I'm going to go under. What about you, Rob?
I think under 2. I can see more director than picture.
Yeah, everybody's got to keep in mind there are up to 10 slots for Best Picture, but there's only 5 for director. So it's high. It's less than half likely. So anyway, okay, what's next?
Orange Hand says, Lily James, did you repeat her name and swoon?
Lily James. Oh my God.
I do.
Here's the thing about Lily James. Not only, and I don't use this phrase loosely, not only is Lily James stupidly beautiful. Like, it's just, there's something wrong when somebody looks that good. There are a few, like, whether it's a Javier Bardem or who played Mara in Aquaman again?
Amber Heard.
Amber Heard or Lily. It's just stupid how good looking some people are, She's stupidly beautiful.
But she's also uniquely beautiful. There's no one else that looks like her. She doesn't look like your typical California beauty. She has this beauty that sort of transcends time. You cannot watch Cinderella and not fall madly in love with her.
That's the other thing about her. Not only is she stupidly beautiful, she's stupidly talented.
Absolutely.
She can walk in and do a Cinderella and went bonkers in that movie. Then she can go into a Baby Driver and totally make me buy into that character as well.
And then she plays a frumpy teacher in Yesterday. and you're like, man, I love this woman.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You'll never. That's the one thing about Yes. You'll never sell me that there's any man on the earth that Lily James go, I can't get you to love me. Nah, she doesn't have that problem. She does. She's way too talented, intelligent. Whatever. Sorry, you got me talking on Lily James. Let's keep going.
Metal Vegan says, went to a convention over the weekend, met, took a pic, and got an autograph from Bruce Campbell.
Nice.
Waited 6.5 hours in line, though, but worth it. Also met the twin girls and Danny Torrance from The Shining.
6.5 hours? Wow.
Come and play with us.
I'll tell you, forever and ever. It's funny, me and Ann just had this conversation the other day. There are some people who get turned off. By the way, Metal Vegan, that was a really generous super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel on that level. There are some people, understandably so, who get really turned off by the notion of these celebrities having these photo things where they charge sometimes exorbitant amounts, sometimes like $20, sometimes $120, sometimes $200, whatever. But when you consider this, when else are you going to have the opportunity to meet one of your favorite stars and then posing at a picture with one of your favorite stars? Like, it's expensive, but for a lot of fans, it's totally worth it. Ann's getting into Mayans right now. And a bunch of the Mayans cast are going to be at the Los Angeles Comic-Con coming up. And she's already booked her spot. $150 she paid, so she can get a picture with her and like 5 of the cast members in one big group photo. Which I'm like, well, damn, I may now go to the LA convention just because I might want to get that picture too. I think it's a pretty cool thing. So to get one, but 6.5 hours, that sounds huge. I gotta say, I love Bruce Campbell. I wouldn't stand in line for 6.5 hours. Tell you what else. I love Mark Hamill, but I wouldn't stand in line for 6.5 hours for it. I guess, who would I stand in line for 6.5 hours for? I don't know.
Lily James.
Lily James. Yeah, that's Lily James. Yeah, Jennifer Garner would be another one. Rob, do you got anybody who'd stand in line six hours for?
God, probably not. You know what? I would stand in line 6 hours to talk to Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
I would wait to talk to a director if I could have some time. And by the way, the idea that fans think that their favorite celebrity should not be working, should just not charge for their autograph, I've never understood that. They're working. It's their job. And they're not a charity. They're not, they're not.
Yeah, I mean, it's different if you bump into somebody in the street and
Right.
and you ask them for an autograph. If they say no, that's totally cool. But it's like, give me $50. I think that would be one thing. But when you're at an organized event that costs money and time, and an actor's time is money,
Yeah.
then look, it's kind of like a super chat, right? You send in a super chat, your question's getting answered. At this thing, you might go to the same convention hoping you bump into the cast of Mayans, or you can pay $150. You get to meet all of them and get your photo taken with all of them. As a fan, again, I know that's a lot of money, but as a fan, if I pay $150 and I know I get to meet them and I know I get to get my picture with them, I think that's a nice arrangement.
I completely agree with you, 100%.
And it gets the actors a little bit more money, which is always good. All right, what's next?
Matthew Denton says, saw your favorite horror movie, American Werewolf in
Oh,
London.
you forgot Nathan's.
Sorry, Nathan Oswald. Sorry, I thought I got that. Well, Nathan Oswald says, when you give me the Oscar, can you introduce me as Joker?
And listen, I'm telling you what, I do think it's a possibility he gets that, not only a nomination. I think it's almost a guarantee he gets a nomination. I think there's a decent chance he wins. What are you thinking about that?
I think, yes. I mean, look, again, one of these amazingly committed physical performances, the weight loss, the way he contorted his body. I was in pain watching him. I mean, what a committed performance, man.
All right, what's next?
This time it's Matthew Denton. Saw your favorite horror movie, An American Werewolf in London, at a drive-in this past weekend. What's the last movie you saw at a drive-in?
Last movie I went to go see in a drive-in, it wasn't its original run. It was added on as a double feature, but was Independence Day.
Wow.
Independence Day was the last one I saw, and it was probably about 10 years ago that I saw it. Yeah, I love the drive-ins, but I haven't been to a drive-in in like a decade. I mean, it's a disappearing, almost completely gone thing.
Yeah.
Treasure that I wish there were more of them, and it was, oh God, I lament the loss of the drive-in. What's the last one you saw, Rob?
Long time ago, an 80s double bill of The Terminator and Rambo, First Blood Part 2.
Okay, that's an awesome double feature.
Awesome.
That is an awesome double feature.
That was pretty great.
All right, what's next?
What's next is Sully. My only critique with Joker was that I wanted to see him as Joker for a few more minutes. I wanted to see maybe 5 more minutes of the riot scene.
I'm going to disagree.
He said it was a 9 out of 10, by the way.
Yeah, I disagree. I think, look, the point of this movie was not to show us Joker. The point of the movie was to show us what facilitated the creation of Joker. You know, I had a bunch of people, we did our Joker spoiler discussion the other day, Rob, and a bunch of people wrote in and said, you know, part of the things they were upset about was he didn't have the cunning of Joker. And my response to that was, because he wasn't Joker yet. Like, it wasn't until near the end, we got late into the third act that he says, I'm off my meds, I'm not taking my meds anymore. He has now started to codify his worldview and his beliefs. And this is what I said, Rob, I'd be curious to know what you think. I think we saw the initial spark of Joker, the beginning of the creation process was in the subway scene. The point of no return, I can't give spoilers away. Something significant happens near the mid of the film that involves his mom. I think that conversation was a point of no return. And then I think the ending of the film was the moment he was truly then born. I think there's a moment of conception, the moment of coming to term, and then the moment of actual birth. And to me, that was it. And I love that that's where they ended the film. And they left the rest up to us at that point. But I don't know. Without giving any spoilers away like I almost did, what did you think?
See, I tend to disagree with that because so much of what was happening was ambiguous. I mean, I think your assessment of it is good. I just thought that it was too... I saw it more as a character's descent into total madness. And especially, again, I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, we got to be careful here. All right, what's next?
Alex Pitt says, in terms of comic book movies transcending the genre, I would also argue that The Winter Soldier does this. It comes across as a political thriller.
Well, I mean, you and I have talked a lot of times, Rob, that there are many comic book movies that started to genre blend.
Right.
You know, they were genre benders, like the Airbender. They've started to do that more and more, but literally then transcending that where it is primarily a political thriller. See, I think I count Winter Soldier as kind of getting halfway there. And Winter Soldier's brilliant and all that kind of stuff. Whereas, like, I think at best, Joker is a secondary comic book movie. It is not primarily a comic book movie.
I agree with you 100%.
And a lot of people made the same argument about the Dark Knight. That is primarily an organized crime movie before and secondarily it's a Batman movie. And that's where I see the line. So I don't know that I would put Winter Soldier in there, even though I think Winter Soldier is ridiculously good. How would you?
I'm with you 100% because Winter Soldier is still very much a Captain America movie. It's dealing with heady issues. It's dealing with topics of the day, but it's still very much a comic book movie. Whereas Joker doesn't bear any resemblance to a comic book movie, at least that's ever been done up to this point. And it's a character study. It talks about mental illness. I mean, it does things we've never seen before in a comic book film.
All right, what's next?
Willow Yang is here. Hello, Willow. I'm making my way through Scorsese's filmography, and every new movie I watch seems better than the last. Which is your favorite Scorsese movie?
Oh, that's a good question. What is your favorite Scorsese movie?
Oh my God, there's so many I love. Of course, I love Taxi Driver. I do love King of Comedy. But I love The Aviator. I love Color of Money. I love The Departed. I love Goodfellas. The first hour of Casino is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. There's so many.
I got to go... I'm going to stick with... I think I got to go Goodfellas. I mean, Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh my God, I forgot that. Oh,
I mean, so many are great. They're so good. I'm going to stick with Goodfellas for now, though. That's mine. All right, what's next?
Next is David Willard says, went out on a first date and saw Joker. How'd that go?
That's gutsy.
We loved it after the movie. We sat and talked for a bit about movies we really like, and he said one of his was a Serbian film. Do I take that second date? Yo, I don't know about that. Have you ever seen a Serbian film?
I have. I know I've seen Serbian film, but I'm not a connoisseur of Serbian film, so depends. How was the discussion?
If the discussion was good and you guys were having a good time together,
then absolutely. And by the way, kudos to you, David. You understood the primary Dr. John Campea true formula for using movies for dates. You don't go to a dinner and then the movie. You go to the movie first and then have drinks and dinner afterwards so you can talk about the movie. Good on you for taking my sage advice. All right. Guys, I'm going to lean a little bit more on Robert here to answer the questions because my voice is starting to fade here. I'll cut in now and again, though. So, Robert, what's next?
What is next? Let's see. Alpha Odrago? What a cool name. Even if Phoenix and Ledger's Jokers are different characters, we can still compare performances. The Oscars does it every year with Best Actor or Actress. Well, I think that is true, and they are very different kinds of performances. I would say that Heath Ledger's performance was very external, whereas where Joaquin Phoenix's was very internal. The thing about Joaquin Phoenix is he was alone a lot of the time, or he was with somebody kind of like a therapist or something, whereas Heath Ledger was acting. He walked in and talked to crime bosses, or he was talking to Harvey Dent, or he was talking to a party full of people, and there were very different kinds of performances. But yes, I think you can compare and contrast them, but they're both equally stunning.
Yeah, because the problem here, Alpha, is that a lot of people would specifically ask the question, who's the better Joker? And that's when I would say to people, they are such radically... The character that Heath Ledger plays bears almost no resemblance to the character that Joaquin Phoenix plays. So, but if you just want to ask, hey, two different movies, one actor did one performance, one actor did enough, totally different movies, whose performance do you prefer? On that level, I'll say Joaquin Phoenix. Because Heath Ledger's, while Oscar-worthy and brilliant and all-time iconic, was a little bit more narrow in focus, and his character was one way a lot of the time. Joaquin Phoenix explored a much wider spectrum, if you will, of different dynamics. So who's the best Joker? I'm saying that's impossible to say. Who gave the overall better performance? I might actually lean towards Joaquin Phoenix, but that's me. So whatever. Okay, what's next?
What's next is Aaron Mullen says Ben Affleck equals Ben A. Fleck, Arthur Fleck. Mind blown.
Well, I mean, I don't want to burst your bubble, Aaron, but that's something that was around. Everybody was talking about that way back in the day when Joker first got announced. They did confirm that there was no connection. that was total coincidence. There was no connection, and we talked about that. Unless you've heard something differently, Rob.
No, I haven't.
All right, what's next?
HV3 9000 says, theoretically, could Will Smith get nominated for Gemini Man for both leading actor and supporting actor Oscars for playing his older and younger self?
What do you think?
I don't know. I never thought about that. I mean, okay. From what I've heard about the movie, I don't think so. However, the movie fan in me thinks that would be really cool if he did. I would love to see it. I just don't think it's going to happen with this movie. But it does open the door. This technology does open the door that could happen.
Well, I don't think it will. Because I think Academy Award members are going to look at it and it's like, Will Smith has a performance in his movie. He's called on to do different... Every actor's called on to do different things in their movie. That was still Will Smith doing a performance. And it meant he had more diversity to do, and he had to play different ways with different things, but it's still one performance. So I don't think they'll look at it any differently than that.
You're right. But it'd be cool, though.
It would be interesting. What's next?
Jacory Robertson says, hey, guys, writing question. How do I set up a good twist without completely telegraphing it?
Oh, dude, that's a 10-hour... That's a 10-hour USC film studies discussion that... I mean, just don't telegraph it. Don't make it
I was going to say the answer to that is come up with a great twist and don't telegraph it.
I mean, we're the wrong... I mean, it's a great question, but that's not something we can answer in 30 seconds here. All right, what's next?
It's a great question, though. Edgar Magana says, Equalizer 3, chances?
What do you think?
I think, I really liked Equalizer 2, to be honest.
So did I.
And I don't know how it did monetarily. I don't know.
Not fantastic.
But it was probably not that expensive to make, but Denzel's got to eat, and he makes a lot of money. So I don't know, but I would love to see that character come back. I thought Denzel did a great job in those films.
I love the first one. I like the second one, but it just didn't make the money to justify a third. I can't see that happening. All right, what's next?
Probably right. Jerome Lim says, Arthur Fleck's medical condition that makes him laugh is called pseudobulbar affect. This is a real medical condition. Part 2, crying is also another form of this condition. Head trauma, Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's, and strokes can cause this. I've worked in the medical field for over 20 years, and I've seen this in real life. Well, that's really interesting. I mean, I think, to me, I didn't know that, to be honest. I mean, I assumed it probably had its basis in reality, but now, wow, wouldn't it be interesting if he had some more trauma and he both laughed and cried? I mean, my God, what would that have done to his character? But it sounds like it's a horrible way to live.
We had when we did the Joker spoiler discussion, somebody brought that up. I said, I don't know if that's a real condition or one they made up for the movie. Either way, it was a brilliant application.
Yeah.
Like whether they made it up or it's a real condition, they applied it to him. It was a brilliant application. So I always love it when we get to learn new things from our viewers. And Jerome, thank you for educating us, brother, because that to me is fascinating. That they took a real existing world condition, applied it to that character to give us a different way of looking at him. I think that's fantastic. I think that's awesome.
And thanks for supporting the channel that way.
And thank you, Jerome, for supporting the channel on that level. Thank you very much. All right, what's next?
Lee Mallinson says, Weekend at Bernie's 2, Mannequin on the Move, Three Men and a Little Lady, films I've seen and like, a sequel without ever seeing the original. Do you have any?
Ooh, do you?
God, no. Have I seen a sequel that I haven't seen the original film? John, I don't think so.
I think I saw Wrath of Khan before I saw the original motion picture.
Wow, okay.
I think. But then again, that doesn't really count because I knew Star Trek because my mom had me watching the original series on reruns as I was growing up. So, I mean, I guess that doesn't really count. But
you know what? I just thought of one. The Hustler. I saw The Color of Money
before The Hustler.
Before I saw The Hustler. And I went and I got The Hustler.
Me too. That's a great one.
And it was The Hustler with Paul Newman,
Tom
60s, and then the Tom Cruise film, which I saw first, Martin Scorsese. That's the one.
That's a great one. Well done. All right. What's next?
I never would have heard. That's a good question. James Lockman says, I just saw Joker for the second time and loved it. But I think Booksmart is still my favorite movie of the year.
I'm with you. I don't know that Booksmart will still be my favorite movie of the year by the time we get to the end of the year. But as of right now, Booksmart is up there. I still put The Favorite, or The Farewell, I mean. I put The Farewell above it right now. But Joker's up there for me. But yeah, not my favorite film of the year right now. What about you, Rob?
I anticipate Irishman is going to wind up being my favorite movie of the year.
But what is right now? If you have to say out of the movies you've seen right now this year, which one would you say it is?
God, what is my favorite movie of the year? That is tough. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know, man. I mean, I gotta say, I hate to say this, but I loved Endgame. I wanted something from Endgame.
Nothing wrong with that.
But the problem is, I can't have this year go by and say that was my favorite movie of the year, only because I feel like I owe it to myself to like something of more substance. Even though I loved Endgame.
Hey, man, you love what you love. You love what you love. All right, what's next?
James Lockman has another question. My favorite shots in the film: 1, camera shot right outside bus window looking up, close up at Arthur. 2, Arthur on the ground after losing the sign.
Oh, yeah.
Foreground blurry. That was an incredible shot. 3, Arthur on the stairs dancing to Gary Glitter. All of those are all 3 totally iconic shots. You know, that pullback when he's on the ground after getting hit with the sign.
Yeah.
They've been using that in the trailers. When I saw that in the movie, I don't know why, but I got chills.
Oh, I know why you got chills. Because it sets up for chills.
Yes, it really, I mean, there's also a shot when he's coming home at night when there's just a light on in the apartment building sort of foyer that I'm like, from the exterior, I love that shot too.
All right, what's next?
What's next is Estevel Garcia says, Gemini Man is out this week. Nobody seems excited.
Why do you think that is?
I think, it hasn't been getting good reviews. And a lot of people are saying that it's a script issue. That they spent all this time working on the film, but then the script sort of lackluster, John. I'm bummed out because all the technology and all the time and Ong Lee and everything that Will Smith put into it. But I don't know. Scripts, you can't make a great movie without a great script.
I'm supposed to go see it tonight. If I can drag myself out to see it, I'll do a reaction coming out of theater and I'll let you guys know if it was worth it. All right, what's next?
What is next is Padrak Conway says over or under 30% Julie Delpy returns in for Black Widow.
Ooh, of course she played in Ultron. She was in Black Widow's psychosis flashback to when she was young. Ooh, 30%. That's low.
Yeah.
I'll still go under. I don't think she's going to appear, but I wouldn't say like 5 or 10%, but I will take under 30. What about you,
I'm
Rob?
with you. I don't think she's been announced. I think they would have announced her if she came back.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because Marvel does that. Jared Oberfeld says, can't wait for tomorrow. My 65-inch 4K Vizio will show up and seeing Joker in Dolby Cinema.
That's a good day.
That is a glorious day, sir.
I don't like. I got my. The great thing is the television prices have come down so much now. Like it was not that long ago to get a 65-inch, you were spending over $2,000. Then I just picked up like a 75-inch 4K, and I ended up getting it for like $800.
Yeah,
I mean it was great.
The real question is, I hope you've got a 4K disc player. I want to know what's the first 4K disc you're going to watch.
Well, that would be a question for Jared because I don't buy 4K discs.
I know.
So, there
He's
you
got
go.
to write back in and tell us.
All right, what's next?
Ryan Lohner says Venom's October record is blown away like a turd in the wind.
Like a turd in the wind. Nice wordplay there, Ryan. I like that. All right, what's next?
Carolina 29593 says, "What's up, gangbangers? Was wondering, have y'all heard the rumors about a Plagueis and Young Palpatine project being kicked around?"
I don't think those are reliable. I've heard the rumors. I don't think there's any substance to them. So what about you, Rob?
Would that be like Lethal Weapon in space? It's Riggs and Murtaugh, but it's young Plagueis and Palpatine.
Riggs and Murtaugh.
Angela Dashner says, "Saw Judy this weekend and it was amazing. Renee Zellweger transforms herself. Have you seen Judy yet? And what did you think?" I have not, but I want to see it. I've heard she's amazing, but the movie's just okay.
I've heard great things about it. I planned on going to see it this weekend, and then I got really sick.
Yeah, I mean, I love Renee Zellweger. Jerry Maguire, love her.
Yeah, I've heard remarkable things about it. So I haven't. I missed my chance to see it. I will try to get around to seeing it this week if I'm able to. So I'm hoping, but I've heard the same things, Angela. I've heard the same things. All right, what's next?
James Hoffman says, "It was great seeing Riker and Troy in the new Star Trek Picard trailer. I love that. How can you not? That embrace at the end where Troy hugs Captain Picard. You know, they're married. They're an item. It's great to see Riker and Troy. They're probably living in Alaska. It looked good to me. I can't wait. I even like seeing Riker with the on Golden Picard moment when they're sitting on the deck.
Right, on the lake, yeah.
On the lake? Come on.
Am I the only one that really wanted Troy to end up with Worf? I really wanted Troy to end up with Worf. I wanted that series finale, all good things. I'm like, yes, this works for me. But they went classic. They went her and Riker, which I don't have a problem with. I want to see her with Worf. That's just me. All right, what's next?
What's next is Angela Dashner's back. 1, Lord of the Rings trilogy. 2, Wrath of Khan. 3, Empire Strikes Back. 4, The King's Speech.
Love that.
5, Hamlet, Kenneth Branagh version. 6, Gladiator. 7, Love Actually. 8, The Avengers. 9, Minority Report. And 10, Disney's The Black Cauldron.
Oh,
wow.
I got to tell you what, that's the first
That's
time
a
I've
pull.
seen. I've not seen The Black Cauldron put up. First of all, Angela, thank you so much for supporting the channel on that level. Appreciate that. You got some really. First of all, you got a movie like an Academy Award-winning movie like King's Speech, with Wrath of Khan. I love you got a little bit of Kenneth Branagh in there, Gladiator, but Black Cauldron. That is one, Rob, I've not seen. I don't think I've seen that on anybody's top 10 list at this point.
Who talks about The Black Cauldron? Wow.
You know what? Suddenly I feel the urge to watch Black Cauldron.
I know. I do too. Can you even get it?
Well, if only Disney had some sort of streaming service coming that might have that thing on it. I think maybe I'll have to wait till November, but it's only a month and a little bit away now. Rob, Disney Plus is only like 6 weeks away at this point.
Bruh.
Less.
Mandalorian, man. Mandalorian. Cannot wait.
I just ordered my Funko Pop Mandalorian New York Comic Con exclusive. Buddy of mine picked it up for me. I can't wait to get it.
Yeah,
it's not the hot toy, but...
I did pre-order the Mandalorian hot toy, but it doesn't come out until October 2020 through December 2020.
See, that... Can I just say this?
I know.
To anybody at Hot Toys listening, do you know how much money I would have given your stupid company? Do you know how many months of rent I would have missed for you if when you actually display something, it's available for sale? I remember at Comic-Con, I was looking at a number of their pieces. I'm like, oh, awesome. How much for this? It's not available. Well... why the fuck is it out on display then teasing me like this?
They put things out on display. Did you see they had a Jedi Starfighter from Revenge of the Sith?
Yes.
They're never going to make that. They're never going to make that. And I'm going to live the rest of my life wanting it, and they'll never make it.
I'm going to live the rest of my life wanting it. I like that. That's like me and Jennifer Garner. All right, what's next?
Jersey Kid says, this week I saw Lita Battle Angel M.A. Chimpanzee. Girlfriend favorite? Dirty Grandpa, Missing Link, The Shape of Water. Which was favorite? Mine was Alita.
Whew. I don't know what MA is.
I don't know what is MA?
I wasn't big on Dirty Grandpa. I took a pass on Missing Link. Shape of Water is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Shape of Water.
Me
I
too.
really liked Alita, but I'm going to take Shape of Water.
I'm going to say I'm taking Shape of Water as well, but I liked Alita more than I thought I was going to. And I recently watched it again in 4K. I like that movie.
Script issues, for sure.
Yeah.
But overall, a fun movie. I enjoyed that film.
I thought so too. Isaac S. says, will you be watching Parasite this weekend? Yes. I hope you do. Parasite and Joker are the best movies I've seen so far this year.
Yeah, Parasite was another one I was going to try to watch this weekend, and I couldn't. But I am definitely going to see this. Actually, I just got my email today for a special Parasite event at ArcLight. Did you get that one too?
I did, and I really want to go.
Yeah, I think Ann and I are going to get tickets for that.
I really want to go.
All right, what's next?
Justin Perez, one of two. After seeing Joker, I pray that they make a second one where they take inspiration from The Killing Joke, with Batman actually reaching out, offering to help the Joker, and it ending with Batman and Joker laughing at a joke Arthur made with his laugh fading out. Feel like that scene would be even more powerful after the events of this movie and would be the perfect way to end the Joker story.
No, fuck no. Hell no. No, 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 no. This Joker is meant to be a standalone, isolated movie. Fuck all this. Let's expand it out and make a shared cinematic universe. Screw that. We've got plenty of that. Every other frickin' comic book related movie does that. F that nonsense. Let's get a good just standalone movie for the sake of standalone movie. Not to mention you'd be talking about a 70-plus-year-old Joker. By the time that little kid becomes Batman, you're talking about a 70-plus-year-old Joker. So no, I mean, look, Justin, seriously, you are not alone, brother. You are not alone. I'm hearing from a lot of people saying, oh, I want them to do this. And you're not alone. A lot of people share your opinion on that, and that's great. But for me, F no. The whole reason I've been excited about Joker is to get some truth. Because here's the thing, Rob, and this came up in our spoiler discussion. I can't even talk, but I'm going to talk about this. Joker never would have worked in a shared superhero universe. Never. Never. If that world that Joker was just happened in had magical women from the Amazon with golden lassos and magical space aliens that could fly through the sky and shoot heat lasers from their eyes, it would have totally undermined and destroyed the DNA of this Joker movie. That's why standalone movies outside of shared cinematic universes are so important right now, because you are freed from the shackles of the shared cinematic universe. And I love shared cinematic universe, I do, but we can have both. Joker never could exist in the DCEU, just can't exist. But because it's a world that is divorced from all the other superhero trappings, they were able to create their world and tell their story in a certain way that had the impact it can. And I hope others do that as well. So no, Justin, while you are not alone, brother, I 1000% do not want them to do that in any way, shape, or form. To me, it ruins the whole concept of the movie. But that's just my thoughts. That's just my thought. Rob, what do you think?
I don't disagree with you there either. I think that's what makes this movie unique, and I hope it stays that way. And like you said, how does that kid grow up? He's got another 20 years before he becomes Batman, at least. I don't think it would work.
All right, what's next?
Patrick Conway says 1917 looks stunning, and it looks like one continuous shot. I agree 100%. I saw that. I think that trailer played before Joker, John. We saw Joker.
As a matter of fact,
and
it did.
It was the new trailer. That movie looks incredible. It isn't one continuous shot. They made it look like it is. But I was watching. There's a behind-the-scenes thing about the making of that movie. I can't wait. I cannot wait for that film. It looks incredible.
All right, what's next?
What is next? Slim Trav says, hope Bad Boys 3 can revive Lawrence's career. Well, he does too.
Yeah, he's got some work to do. There's no doubt about that.
I don't know about that trailer. I'm going to wait and see on that. I mean, everyone loves Bad Boys. I want it to be good, but let's hope it.
Yeah, I thought the trailer was terrible, to be honest with you. All right, what's next?
Cat Comics says, why would I turn into a filing cabinet?
Oh, Captain! One of the great lines from Captain Marvel. First of all, can we talk for a second how good? Why am I freezing on the actor's name? He was Rogue One. He was Director Krennic.
Ben Mendelsohn.
Ben Mendelsohn.
I love that guy.
How great was Ben Mendelsohn in that movie?
He was great.
I mean, especially when they did the little twist in the movie and you realized really what he's about. And it's like that. But the way he said that line, the line is great, but it's his delivery. Why would I want to turn into a filing cabinet? It's just his pacing and timing. I love that character.
He was great. And Talos, he was great. He was under all that makeup too.
Yeah, he did such a good job. All right,
Great
what's
job.
next?
Ben Rayner says, hey, John, I just want to say, hope you're feeling better. I know under the weather sucks. Take it easy, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. The good news is that despite what I sound like, I feel much better than I did this weekend. I actually feel like 90% better than I did this weekend. The problem is, here's the deal. For those guys who've been watching me for a long time, you know at least about once a year, I get this. And it comes from the fact that I get, on average, 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night, which is not healthy. and eventually my immune system gets beaten down, and then I get sick. And it's always the same pattern. I get brutally ill for like 2 days, and then all the other symptoms go away, and I feel fine, except like the chest congestion and the coughing and everything hangs in there for like 3 or 4 weeks. It's frustrating as hell. You'd think at this age I would have learned, just go to bed damn earlier, idiot. But it is what it is. So I will be fighting this cold for a while, fighting the cough, I should say, but I am feeling much better. I am feeling much, much better to the point that I actually think I can go to that Gemini Man screening tonight. So, but unfortunately, and I apologize to you guys, you're going to have to put up the annoyance of me having a bit of a cough for a while, but it is what it is. Sorry about that. All right, what's next?
Chris Warden says, putting the negative reviews for Joker aside, a $230 million worldwide opening on a $50 million budget is a big win for DC. Hamada is definitely on the right path. I totally agree with that. We were talking about, this might be Walter Hamada's, talk about a course correction, talk about doing something out of the box. This killed it. This crushes it. And it also shows more than anything else, you can do an interesting comic book derived film that doesn't cost $150 million to $200 million.
And you know what? On the scorecard, this is 3-0. This is 3 wins in a row. That's called a winning streak, folks. Aquaman, I don't think Aquaman was the greatest film in the world, but it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with Aquaman, and it made an ass load of money. Shazam did not make an ass load of money, but there are a lot of fans, including myself, that completely adored it. And it at least broke even, made a little bit of cash. So that's a win, considering that, generally speaking, I think it's the number one critic rated and audience rated DC movie is Shazam. I can't know that for sure, but that was a win. And now you get this Joker film, which I think is a win. The era of Hamad is off to a good start.
Plus, all 3 of those movies are really auteurist films. Aquaman, whatever you think of it, it's bonkers. It's a bonkers movie. Shazam was what it was supposed to be. It really was a product of its director. And Joker is all Todd Phillips. So they're really doing interesting things across the board, and it's exciting.
All right, let's keep going.
Ben Elman says, saw Joker, had 30 minutes of trailers before the start.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable. This is a massive thing that needs to change in the theater industry. I am sure I will preach on this more in the coming weeks, but that's just unacceptable.
I think so too. Scott Brown says, Joker's the best representation of Gotham I've ever seen on the screen. The disconnection between the rich and the poor and how it created harsh desperation. I totally agree with that. That's something not a lot of people are talking about. I love the fact that Gotham was seen as this city in decline. It's dilapidated. There's super rats in the garbage. Absolutely, 100%.
All right, what's next?
Mark Newman says, love that hat. I've got one like it with a red S.
Oh, for a second there, I thought that was a movie quote. No, he's actually talking about my hat. Yeah, I love this hat. I love this hat, and I love the Superman lettering under it. I love this hat so much. And I had the option to get the one with the red S and one with the white S, but I liked it blended in with
the black is cool.
I like that a lot. But thank you. I appreciate that. All right, what's next?
Let's see. Matthew DeFreitas says Joker equals Oscar worthy. Don't think I'll buy the DVD though.
That goes back to what a lot of people have been saying. Love the movie. Don't know if I can watch it again. Like Schindler's List or Detroit or movies like that. Now I'm planning on seeing Joker 2 or 3 more times, at least 2 more times. But I've talked to a number of people already that said they really love Joker. Don't know if I can watch it again though, because as you so beautifully put, it's not a fun movie.
No,
it's not like a woo. Really need to pick me up today. It's not one of those. So
I just got to go visit Arthur Fleck today.
Yeah, just go hang out with Arthur and make my life feel better. All right, what's next?
John Stenberg says Joker found photo of mother signed "You have a lovely smile." TW. I took that as confirmation. He is Tom. TW. Should I say who it is? He is.
You know what? We gotta move on.
Yeah. Bats220 says, saw Joker Friday. Just the movie title at the beginning covering the whole screen made me feel uncomfortable. I felt that way too. Absolutely love the movie, by the way.
By the way, did you notice that unlike a lot of other DC, there was no DC emblem at the beginning of the film?
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
It was really interesting.
I think there might have been one at the end, but there wasn't one at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like they knew if we put that up, it creates a false expectation of what this movie might be.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really interesting.
I like that too.
All right, what's next?
Let's see.
Oh, wait, so we had a bit of a jump here. There we go.
Julie Lilly. Julie, thanks for the super chat. Phoenix Clouden says, if I was born in the U.S. but moved to Winnipeg, would I then be considered a good Canadian kid?
Ooh. You know what? Yep. I'll call you a good Canadian kid. You moved to Canada, you're a good Canadian kid to me. So there you go.
I've been to Winnipeg. I love Winnipeg. But
Winnipeg's great, but it's cold,
it's cold,
man.
dude. Wow.
Like, there's this Canadian stereotype that all of Canada's cold. It's not. Actually, there's a lot of Canada that is actually more south than some of the U.S. Winnipeg, Saskatoon, these can be really cold in the winter.
Winnipeg has that. It's so cold that the snow turns into like dust and blows across because it's so core. I mean, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love Winnipeg.
It's gorgeous. I love that city.
great.
All right, what's next?
Let's see. Orville Nation says, "Hi, John. Your thoughts on the new Picard trailer?"
Already gave them.
We did cover
loved
that.
it. Thought it was fantastic. I'm really looking forward to seeing this show.
Yeah. Tyler Kramer says, the more they play Picard trailers, the more emotional I get. Watching The Next Generation as a child was my escape from reality. Picard is my captain, the only captain. Yo, James T. Kirk, what's up?
It still reminds me of the great Weird Al Yankovic song, White and Nerdy. One of the greatest lines in the song, the only thing that I fight hard is do I like Kirk or do I like Picard? And he's laying in bed with a Kirk and a Picard portraits over his bed. It's a great moment. It's great. I love Picard, man. I really do. Love Picard.
Too.
All right, what's
I
next?
do too. Darth Sidious says, hi, John and crew. What do you think of Batwoman?
What are we talking about?
The new Batwoman series debuted.
Oh, did it air?
Yeah, it aired.
Oh, I didn't even know it launched. You know, okay, look.
I have to say, dude, I kind of liked it.
Well, you know what? Since we're restarting Heroes, we got to talk about that. But I liked her in the crossover event last year. Hated the trailer for the series. So I will check that out and I will let you know for sure. Thanks. I learned stuff from you guys. I didn't even know that it debuted. Didn't even know. And you think it wasn't that bad?
I think first of all, I think she's really hot and I feel guilty for feeling that way, but I like her. I like the way she looks. There's something about, is she the greatest thespian in the world? Perhaps not, but she'll get better.
All right, what's next?
DJ Titus says, hey crew, anyone watched Raising Dawn yet? Loved it. That is the new Michael B. Jordan superhero series that dropped on Netflix.
I have not even heard of it.
Michael B. Jordan produced it. It looks really good. Apparently there's a kid with powers who's being raised by a single mom. It looks awesome. Saw the trailer. I saw that was another thing. It dropped on Netflix that I couldn't think of one earlier.
See, it's a Netflix thing and I've never even heard of it. With Michael B. Jordan and I've never even heard of it.
Yeah,
that tells you all you need to know about Netflix and marketing their material. All right.
Crazy. Daniel McBreen says, hey, John, will you do a companion video for yesterday's Joker spoiler video? Thanks.
Well, just to give you guys a heads up. So there are two companion videos that need to come. One is from last Friday. We didn't have one last Friday. I got sick, couldn't do it. Rob is going to do the companion video from there, but some things came up for him this weekend, but he's doing that today. So that companion
both
video,
of them will go today.
Right. And he's going to do, because I'm a little under the weather, he's going to do the follow-up to the Joker one as well. So both of those will be coming a little bit later today.
And I sincerely apologize for anybody that might be put off that I didn't get it done this weekend, but I'll get it done today. By the way, somebody asked a question about whether we'd seen the Terminator character in Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat stuff.
Man, yeah. Because of that, I went and watched that trailer. I'm getting Mortal Kombat 11 just to play.
It looks fun, doesn't it?
Oh my God.
That looked really, really
so
fun.
So good.
All right, what's next?
Let's see. Gary Ritchie says, do you think by putting their logo after the end credits was DC's way of reminding us that it was not a part of the shared cinematic universe? Well, we just said that, but I think yes.
Great minds, Gary. It's funny. I literally just said the same thing. Yeah, I feel like, number one, not just reminding us it's not a part of that shared universe, but not to set a false expectation right from the beginning of, you see an opening thing with Superman and Green Lantern, and you're thinking, oh, what's this? And I think that was a very calculated move. I agree.
I do too.
All right, what's next?
Samuel Phoenix says, Charlemagne the God said the MCU and the SMU would cross over. Now everyone says it's confirmation, but to me he looked uninformed. What do you think?
I have no idea who or what we're talking about.
Charlemagne the God he's a radio personality. He's a pop culture personality. What is the SMU?
I have no idea.
I know the MCU and the SMU. I'm not sure what the something Marvel. I don't know what that is.
I can't speak to it because I don't even know who Charlemagne is.
I don't know the answer.
All right, nothing against Charlemagne. I've never heard of him, so I can't answer that.
Jer Mananen says, love the Picard trailer. So excited for it. I think we all are. It's so great. It's nice to be excited about Star Trek again. Can't wait.
All right, last couple of questions.
J Meister 25 says, friend of mine said that the only that only DC has made game-changing comic book movies and that Marvel has contributed nothing to the genre nor the industry. Hashtag rolls eyes. Yeah, they haven't contributed anything to the industry, really.
Jay, Max, I need you to sit down for a second. Your friend's an idiot. I mean, it's okay if you don't like the MCU movies. It's okay if you don't like them. But to make the ridiculous suggestion that Marvel has not contributed anything to the genre, the only reason people go to see a lot of DC movies today is because of how popular the MCU has made the genre today. Now, look, you're talking to somebody who I love my DC movies. You know, some are better than others. But hell, I even like Suicide Squad. I acknowledge it's a hot mess of a movie, but I had fun with that film. Even that one I liked. But when you get a movie like, we were talking about Winter Soldier earlier. That, I mean, come on. Like, and Warner Brothers really, I should say Marvel really got engaged in this whole idea of cross-bending genres into the comic book thing. So now you've got comic book comedies, you got comic book heist movies, you have comic book political thrillers, you have comic book tragedies, you have comic book, like, not to mention they've made the genre what it is today. I mean, I just, yeah.
Who's ever made 23 interlocking movies, which the Infinity Saga, who's ever done that? One success after another. The fact that that work is an astonishing achievement in Hollywood. No one's ever done anything remotely close to that ever.
Yeah, it's just what a dumb thing to say. All right, it's okay. It's okay if you don't like those movies. That's fine. But that statement is ridiculous. All right, what's next?
Dale Brown says, "I love the symbolism in Joker spoilers."
Well, now if there's spoilers, then we're not going to talk about it. Sorry. All right, next.
Okay, Jmeister25 says, "No, that's the same thing." We already read that. Deleted.
Nick.
Oh, Nick. Hey, gentlemen. Thanks very much, Rob, for reading for John. Hope you both had a good weekend. How would you both rank all of the Joker portrayals? Wow.
Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, look, I like them all, but they're all so radically different. This is one of the beautiful things, but one of the big challenging things, Rob, about doing a Joker is that you have to find a way that makes it uniquely Joker, but it's completely different from any of the other iterations.
Yeah.
Cesar Romero's Joker and Jack's Joker completely different. Heath's Joker and Jack's Joker completely different. Joaquin's Joker and Heath's Joker completely different. I mean, look, I like Jared Leto's Joker. I didn't think they used him right, but I love that incarnation. He was Joker in his DNA, but manifested differently than the others, just like every Joker does. It's all I'll say is right now, it's Heath's and Joaquin's in 1A and 1B. I mean, I'm still not sure which one I put first, but those are the two that are at the top for me.
I agree. I thought Heath's performance was so fun. I mean, it was. I just enjoyed watching him. Whereas I remember seeing Batman. I went to the premiere of Batman '89, and I couldn't believe I was seeing Jack Nicholson, a megastar, portray the Joker, and he did such a great job. But it was I didn't believe that Joker. Like, I didn't believe that he would ever exist in my world. Whereas Heath Ledger, I believed a guy like that could exist, a chaos bringer. A post 9/11, who knows? And Jared Leto seemed like a different incarnation. They're all very different, but they're great.
All right, guys, as my voice is about to go, that'll do it for us for this installment of the John Campea Show today. Thank you so much for being here, guys, and thank you for sending in all your questions, not just because you gave us great fun things to talk about, but also because you supported the channel along the way, and we thank you for that. Special thanks to Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett, not just for being his normal, brilliant, existential Mr. Rogers himself, but also for reading through the questions for me today. That has helped. I never would have gotten through today's show without you, dude. So thank you so much. Where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at BurnettRM, on Instagram at RMBurnett, or you can find me on my own YouTube channel, The Burnett Work, and its adjacent website, TheBurnettWork.net. And I promise everybody I'm going to get these 2 videos out today and get to all your questions.
And you guys can simply follow me on all my different social medias, simply at John Campea. That's on Instagram, Twitter, what have you. And guys, thank you so much for being here. Again, a little bit later today, keep your eyes open for my first reaction out of the theater of Gemini Man. I'll let you guys know what I think about that a little bit later. And of course, Robert and I will be back again tomorrow for the next installment of the John Campea Show. Guys, thanks so much for being here. My name is John Campea, and until next time, bye-bye.